So how have you reflected back on our first learning experience where we taught the long jump?
Yeah, so the first thing that we looked at as a team after our long jump lesson was our strengths. So we thought one of the strengths that was really prominent throughout the lesson was that some of the team members had competed in long jump before or done athletics before and had a very good idea of the long jump, so we were able to communicate the cues clearly and provide really solid demonstrations to the students. We also thought that we had good progression in our lesson, so we started off really simple with small hops on the lines and then built this up to a jump. We used the vault as well for any students who were struggling. And then we also said that we met the wellbeing indicators throughout the lesson that we intended to meet. So then we went on and looked at the weaknesses of the lesson. So we thought maybe one weakness we had was that we didn't include much of a game setting towards the end of the lesson after the students got to practice the skill. And another weakness then was that we didn't link the skill to any other sports or areas the students might use the skill. So for example, some of the students might be involved in basketball or Gaelic football, where jumping high as well as jumping for distance would be important, so to get the knee drive and the arm drive. So we said that we could just mention that to them as well. It might become more relevant to their lives. We went on to look at what we could do to improve in the future. So we said one thing was possibly to incorporate some more cardio. That might include having a longer run up for some of the students who were more capable of executing the skill, or that could build into the game as well. And then we said maybe more general group feedback. So a couple of times we noticed a few kids were making the same mistake. So instead of having to individually give feedback to all of them, we could call in the class group and point out the common mistakes and then let them go back and practice the skill again. And then we had links to TPSR throughout the lesson, so the students were aware, was one of our links. So we said that they were aware of the people around them, they were aware of the safety when they were executing their jumps and aware of the cues and what they had to do to execute the skill. And then we also, there was personal responsibility involved, so in our final game the students had to count the amount of claps they did for each jump, so they were responsible for adding up their scores then and getting a full team score.